Have you ever wondered why some older men, without six-packs, without flashy cars, without trying too hard, still manage to attract younger women with ease? It almost feels unfair, doesn't it? You see a man in his late 40s or 50s, calm, collected, not even trying to be the center of attention, yet the younger women in the room seem drawn to him. What's his secret? What is he doing that younger men overlook? If you've ever asked yourself that question, then stick around, because in this video, we're diving into 7 powerful flirting tricks older men use to attract younger women. And the best part? These aren't gimmicks or cheesy pickup lines. They're grounded in psychology, refined by wisdom, and perfectly aligned with Stoic philosophy, teachings from Marcus Aurelius himself. So before we begin, hit that subscribe button, like this video, and watch till the end, because what you'll learn today might just change your love life forever. On the calm presence, silence as seduction. Do you remember the very first time you truly felt nervous in front of someone you liked? Maybe it was back in high school, maybe in college, maybe even later in life. Your palms were sweaty, your words came out rushed, and deep down you hoped they didn't notice how nervous you were. Now contrast that with another moment. Have you ever met someone who didn't try hard at all, yet their very presence made the room feel different? They didn't speak much, they didn't force attention, yet somehow you couldn't stop noticing them. That's the secret older men carry with them, and it's one of the most powerful flirting tools you will ever learn. It's not about what you say, it's about the energy you project when you don't say anything at all. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." What did he mean? Simply this: your inner state bleeds into your outer presence. If you're anxious inside, people will feel it, even if you try to hide it with flashy jokes or loud stories. But if your thoughts are calm, disciplined, and steady, people will feel that too. Now here's the beauty of it. Women, especially younger women, are wired to pick up on energy. They don't just listen to your words. They sense your calmness, your confidence, or your lack of it. That's why older men who have lived, suffered, and learned how to be comfortable in their own skin can walk into a room and instantly draw attention without lifting a finger. Let me paint this as a love story. Imagine you're at a dinner gathering. A younger guy is across the table, telling exaggerated stories, laughing too loudly, trying to impress everyone. Meanwhile, you're sitting back, smiling, letting the conversation flow. You don't feel the need to compete. You listen. You let others shine. And then when you finally do speak, your words carry weight, because they're not rushed. They're chosen. Now picture her, the younger woman, watching this unfold. She notices how unshaken you are. She notices how you don't need to prove anything. In that moment, curiosity is born. She starts wondering, why isn't he trying to impress anyone? What has he seen in life that gives him this kind of peace? That, my friend, is flirting through silence. It's not about being cold, it's about being present. It's about creating a space where she feels your calmness and naturally leans toward it like warmth on a cold day. So let me ask you, do you remember the first time someone's calm presence made you feel safe? Maybe it was a teacher, a mentor, or maybe even someone you loved. That same presence is what women crave today in a world full of chaos. Older men have mastered this not because of age alone, but because they've learned the Stoic truth. You don't need to be loud to be powerful. You just need to be centered. And in flirting, that's the most magnetic thing of all. 2. Teasing with wisdom, playful confidence. Do you remember the last time someone teased you in a way that didn't feel insulting, but instead made you laugh, made you blush, maybe even made your heart skip a beat? That, my friend, is the art of playful teasing. See, younger men often confuse flirting with flattery. They think saying, "You're so beautiful," 100 times is what makes a woman attracted. But older men know better. They know that real flirting isn't about worship, it's about play. It's about creating a spark that feels like a game, not a job interview. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." And when it comes to flirting, that's exactly the lesson. Don't argue, don't prove. Don't try too hard to convince her of your value. Just be it, live it. Let your words and humor flow from that place. Let me tell you a story. Imagine you're on a coffee date with a younger woman. She's telling you about how independent she is, how she doesn't need anyone to take care of her. A younger guy might nod nervously, agree with everything she says, and shower her with approval just to stay in her good graces. But the older man? He smiles, sips his coffee, and says something like, "I admire that, but don't think you can out-stubborn me. I've been practicing longer than you've been alive." Notice what happened there. He didn't insult her. He didn't dismiss her independence. Instead, he teased her, playfully, confidently, from a place of wisdom. And that subtle tease flips the dynamic. She goes from leading the conversation to engaging in his playful frame. That's powerful. Why does this work? Psychology gives us the answer. Playful teasing creates tension. It's the same energy as when two kids on a playground push each other lightly and laugh. It signals comfort, confidence, and chemistry. It says, "I'm not afraid of you, and I'm not desperate for your approval." Women, especially younger women, crave that. They don't want to feel like they're on a pedestal, where a man worships them. They want to feel alive, challenged, drawn into a game of words and wit. That's where older men shine, because they've lived long enough to not take everything so seriously. Think back to your own love memories. Wasn't there a time when a simple teasing joke made the connection 10 times deeper than 100 compliments ever could? That little smirk, that playful remark, that dance of words, it stays in your memory because it made you feel. That's exactly what you must embody. Don't chase approval. Don't overdo compliments. Instead, bring humor wrapped in wisdom. When you tease, do it with a smile. Do it with warmth. Do it like Marcus Aurelius would. Calm, confident, and unshaken. Because here's the secret. Real flirting isn't about trying to make her like you. It's about making her feel good around you. And playful teasing, delivered with the confidence of experience, does exactly that. 3. Eye contact that lingers. Do you remember the first time someone held eye contact with you just a little longer than usual? That tiny pause, that lingering connection made your heart beat faster, didn't it? You weren't sure why, but it felt different, almost electric. That, my friend, is the power of eye contact. And older men, those who understand themselves, know how to use it better than anyone else. Most men get this wrong. Younger men either avoid eye contact altogether, glancing away nervously, or they overdo it, staring in a way that feels more intimidating than attractive. But the secret is balance. Not avoidance, not intensity, just presence. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Look well into yourself. There is a source of strength, which will always spring up if you will always look there. When you learn to look within, you no longer fear looking outward. That calmness inside you is what gives your gaze power on the outside." Picture this scene. You're at a dinner table. Everyone is talking, laughing, sharing stories. A younger woman makes a joke, and instead of just laughing and looking away like everyone else, you catch her eyes. You smile slightly, hold her gaze for a heartbeat longer, and then look away calmly, without rushing, without flinching. What do you think happens in her mind? That small moment sticks. She wonders, why did he look at me like that? What was behind that smile? Why did it feel different? You've just planted curiosity, and curiosity is the seed of attraction. Psychology confirms this. Studies show that prolonged, comfortable eye contact increases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It creates a sense of intimacy even when no words are spoken. Think about that. Just by holding eye contact, you're creating connection at a chemical level. And let me remind you, this doesn't just work in romance. Think of the people in your life who made you feel most seen. A mentor, a close friend, maybe even a past lover. Didn't they make you feel that you weren't just heard but seen? That's exactly what eye contact communicates. I see you. I'm here. You matter. Now here's where older men have the advantage. They're not in a rush. They don't feel the need to fill silence with nervous chatter. They can hold a gaze with calmness because they're comfortable with themselves. And that comfort is contagious. It makes her feel safe yet excited. The trick is subtle. You don't stare her down. You don't force it. You simply allow your eyes to linger, like you're reading a line in a book you don't want to forget. Then you look away, leaving her with the aftertaste of curiosity. So let me ask you, when was the last time you used eye contact not just to look, but to connect? When was the last time your gaze said more than your words? Because here's the truth. Words can be rehearsed, but eyes never lie. And when you master the art of lingering eye contact, you flirt without saying a single word. 4. Mystery through restraint. Why do you think some books, movies, or even people stay in your mind for years, while others fade away almost instantly? It's not because they told you everything. It's because they left you curious. They left you wanting more. That's exactly how mystery works in attraction. And older men who have lived long enough to understand the value of restraint, use this as one of their most powerful flirting tools. See, younger men often make the mistake of oversharing. They want to impress right away, so they spill their accomplishments, their possessions, their life stories all in the first conversation. But what happens when everything is laid bare too soon? The mystery is gone. There's nothing left to discover. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The things you think about determine the quality of your mind. Your soul takes on the color of your thoughts." A man who constantly thinks, "I must prove myself," will color his soul with desperation. But a man who thinks, "I am enough," radiates calm restraint, and that makes him fascinating. Let's turn this into a story. Imagine you're at a small gathering. A younger woman asks you about your life. A younger guy might jump in and brag about his job, his car, his travels, hoping to win her admiration. But you, an older, wiser man, you smile and say something simple like, I've had my share of adventures. Maybe I'll tell you about them one day." Then you change the subject back to her. Do you see what just happened? You didn't give her everything. You gave her a glimpse. And by doing that, you've just pulled her into your orbit. Now she wants to know more. She wants to keep talking, to uncover those hidden layers. Psychology has a term for this, the curiosity gap. It's the space between what someone knows and what they want to know. When you create that gap, the human brain becomes restless. It wants to close it. And that's why mystery is magnetic. Think back to your own love memories. Wasn't there someone who fascinated you, not because they said too much, but because they said just enough? Maybe it was the way they dropped a subtle hint about their past, or how they told half a story and left you wondering about the rest. That curiosity made you lean in. That's exactly the effect you want to create. Here's the truth. You don't need to be an open book. In fact, being a novel with sealed chapters makes you far more attractive. Women, especially younger women, don't want everything handed to them at once. They want the journey of discovering you. They want to peel back the layers one by one. So the next time you're tempted to prove yourself by talking too much, pause, hold back a little. Give her just enough to feel intrigued, but never enough to feel satisfied. Because in attraction, it's not the man who reveals everything who wins. It's the man who leaves her wanting more. 5. Touch that speaks volumes. Do you remember the very first time someone you liked touched you? Maybe it was just a brush of the hand, a playful tap on the shoulder, or the way they guided you through a crowded room. It wasn't dramatic, it wasn't intense, but it stayed with you, didn't it? It made your heart race in a way words never could. That's the power of touch. Not overdone, not desperate, but subtle, intentional, and rare enough to feel special. See, younger men often get this wrong. Some are too scared to initiate any touch at all, which makes the interaction feel cold and distant. Others overdo it, becoming too forward, which makes a woman feel uncomfortable. But older men, those who've lived long enough to understand timing and restraint, know the secret. Less is more. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This applies perfectly here. Touch is about control, not just of your body, but of your impulses. A man who can hold back, who can choose the right moment instead of rushing, radiates strength. Imagine this as part of your love story. You're walking beside a younger woman on a busy street. Cars pass, people move quickly, and she's slightly distracted. Without saying a word, you place your hand lightly on her back, guiding her away from the curb. She feels it instantly, not just the touch, but the unspoken message behind it. "I've got you. You're safe with me." Or picture this. You're sharing a laugh over coffee. She makes a witty remark, and instead of just laughing with words, you gently tap her hand on the table, smiling as if you're saying, "Well played." That small, casual touch deepens the moment. It tells her you're present, engaged, and unafraid of connection. Psychology proves this too. Research shows that appropriate, light touches on the hand, shoulder, or arm release oxytocin, the bonding hormone. It creates trust, warmth, and intimacy faster than compliments ever could. Think back to your own memories. Wasn't there a time when a single, subtle touch left you thinking about it for hours, maybe even days? That's because the body remembers touch far longer than the mind remembers words. Older men know this truth. They don't flood the moment with unnecessary contact. They wait, they time it, They let the touch speak when words would be too much. That's what makes it powerful. It's rare. It's meaningful. It's unforgettable.
Here's the secret. It's not about how often you touch her,
but how much she feels when you do. A well-timed, respectful touch can do more to build attraction than hours of conversation. It creates a spark she can't ignore. So next time you're with a woman you're drawn to, remember, don't rush, don't force. Wait for the right moment, then let your touch speak for you. Because sometimes the gentlest gesture says more than 1,000 words ever could, for making her feel seen, not just desired. Have you ever been in a conversation where someone looked at you, but you could tell they weren't really seeing you? Their eyes were on you, but their mind was somewhere else. It feels empty, doesn't it? Now flip it. Have you ever had someone look at you, really listen to you, notice the small details others missed? That kind of attention feels rare, almost magical. This is one of the most powerful flirting tricks older men use. They don't just make a woman feel wanted, they make her feel seen. Younger men often stumble here. They focus too much on looks, flooding her with compliments like, "You're gorgeous," or "You're so pretty," and, while every woman appreciates being admired, flattery alone grows stale. Beauty is obvious, it's the first thing everyone notices. But what very few men notice are the subtleties, the spark in her laugh, the way her eyes light up when she talks about something she loves, the slight nervousness in her voice when she's speaking from the heart. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." What does this mean in flirting? It means real power lies not in proving yourself, but in understanding others. A man who listens more than he speaks, who seeks truth in another person's world, instantly stands out. Picture this. You're on a walk with a younger woman. She tells you about a childhood dream she once had, almost dismissing it like it's silly. Instead of brushing it off, you pause and say, "That's fascinating. What made you love it so much?" Suddenly she stops. Her eyes widen because she wasn't expecting you to care about that detail. In that moment, she feels something rare. She feels seen. Psychology backs this up. Studies show that people are most drawn to those who practice active listening, not just nodding, but truly engaging, mirroring emotions, asking thoughtful questions, remembering small details. When a woman feels you notice the things most men overlook, her guard drops. You're no longer just another admirer. You become someone who touches her soul. Think back to your own love memories. Wasn't there a time when someone noticed something about you that no one else did? Maybe it was how passionate you were about your work, or how you carried yourself in silence. Didn't it feel like they reached into your inner world and pulled out something valuable? That's exactly the kind of connection women crave. Older men master this because they've learned life isn't about racing to impress, it's about slowing down to connect. They understand that attraction built on beauty fades, but attraction built on being understood lasts. So here's the secret. Don't just see her body, see her soul. Don't just notice what's on the surface, notice what she hides. When you make her feel truly seen, she won't just enjoy your presence, she'll crave it. 7. Purpose as the ultimate magnet. What do you think truly attracts a woman more? Money, looks, or a man with a clear sense of purpose? Be honest. Most men spend their lives chasing the first two, believing that wealth and charm are the ultimate keys to attraction. But time and again, psychology and life itself prove otherwise. Purpose is the ultimate magnet. Think about it. Have you ever met someone so driven, so locked into their mission, that just being around them made you feel pulled into their energy? That's what women feel when they meet a man who knows where he's going. He doesn't need approval. He doesn't beg for attention. His path speaks for him. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Older men understand this deeply. They know that purpose is more attractive than abs, more magnetic than money. Why? Because purpose creates gravity. It tells a woman, this man cannot be bought, distracted, or swayed. He is anchored to something greater than me, greater than us. Imagine this scenario. You're at dinner and she asks you, "So what do you do?" Most men scramble to make their job sound impressive. But a man of purpose doesn't just talk about what he does, he talks about why he does it. He might say, "I build businesses because I love creating something that outlives me," or "I write because words can change how people see the world." Suddenly, she's leaning in. She's not drawn to the details of your career, she's drawn to the fire in your voice, Women are naturally wired to seek men who can lead, who can provide direction, not just materially, but emotionally and spiritually. When she sees your life isn't defined by chasing her, but by chasing something bigger, her attraction grows tenfold. Why? Because deep down, every woman wants to stand beside a man who is going somewhere. Now let me flip the script on you. Think back to your past relationships or love memories. Have you ever noticed how differently women treated you when you were focused versus when you were lost? When you had clear goals, even the way you carried yourself changed, your posture, your tone, your patience, and she felt it. Psychology calls this the aura of direction. It's why leaders, artists, and men with vision command attention effortlessly. They don't need pickup lines. Their purpose does the talking. Older men have mastered this because they've seen the truth. Chasing women makes you weak, but chasing your purpose makes women chase you. So here's the flirting trick. Stop centering her as the mission. Center your purpose and let her be drawn into it. Because when you stand firm in your path, she doesn't just see a man, she sees a force. And that force is irresistible. Closing reflection. Now let me ask you, looking back at these 7 flirting tricks, which one do you see yourself using naturally? And which one do you feel you need to work on? Remember, these aren't about manipulation. They're about embodying the kind of man Marcus Aurelius would respect. Calm, disciplined, purposeful. When you bring that energy into flirting, younger women notice. They feel it. Because attraction at its deepest level isn't about tricks, it's about presence. It's about living in such a way that your very being becomes magnetic. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.